Tonight, the Kansas City Chiefs are going to be taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Super Bowl 55. Naturally, being the filthy weeb I am, I immediately started thinking about sports anime. Obviously, we haven't seen very many American football anime. It's just not popular in Japan. The only American football anime that comes to mind is iShield 21, which is about a high school student joining the American football club at his school. Even Americans don't give a shit about high school football. I personally, even as a huge fan of the NFL, don't watch college football. In my opinion, if there's a higher level of play, why would I willingly watch the lesser level of play? So I have to ask, why is every sports anime set in high school? It seems like there's almost never a sports anime that takes place in college or university level or at the pro level. I understand that the target audience tends to be high school age boys. I totally get that. But it shouldn't be anywhere near as difficult as it is to name an anime about a team sport that doesn't follow the exact same format. A first year high school student joins a club or team. That student is either a prodigy, an absolute god at whatever sport he's playing. Sometimes they're just a raw athlete, just a pure athletic freak who's maybe new to the sport, someone who's still learning it. And then sometimes you get the genius, someone who's just so smart and he can figure out the game, and their body will catch up and they'll bring the team together. It's very rarely anything other than one of those three archetypes. That first year is going to bond with their teammates. They're going to see the struggles and the heartbreak that their senpai have been through. They're going to enter some high profile tournament, the winter invitational or spring nationals. Who cares? It's all the same anyway. And our first year main characters are going to give it their all and do everything they can to make their senpai proud and make their senpai champions before they graduate. I get that the authors are trying to appeal to a high school age audience, but Jesus Christ, can we get a second kind of story? Please? I'm kind of tired of watching the same story about a first year high schooler who revives a once great high school team that's been in a slump recently, and they're here to make their senpai's dreams come true and finally be on a good team. But it's just so stale. It has to be the most overused anime formula there is. It's at this point just lazy, and I'm personally starting to feel like it's getting boring, which is a shame. As much as I love both sports and anime, I should be one of the biggest sports anime fans there is, but they kind of suck. My favorite sports anime is Major. It follows the story of Goro, our main character, from when he's in preschool until he's like 30 or something like that. It's a journey through his life, the life of an incredibly passionate baseball player, and his dream to go to the major leagues. Captain Tsubasa follows a very similar storytelling style, where he starts out as a very young athlete, and he grows into juniors and pro level play. To me, these two shows they're more than just a breath of fresh air for this stale cookie cutter high school sports trope. In my opinion, they blow those anime out of the water. Now, obviously, at some point on Goro's and Tsubasa's journey, they're going to get to high school age and they're going to be playing in that level of games and tournaments. The difference is that winning the tournament in their first year of high school isn't the most important thing. It's far from it. There are so many greater things at stake for their personal lives, the journey and the past that you've seen them build up over the previous however many episodes or seasons, and so much going forward, looking towards the future at what their goals and dreams are. Neither of these characters started playing the game as a child and said, I want to win the high school tournament, my first year of high school, because no one would call it quits after that. It just doesn't make sense. Like, that's not an end goal for any athlete. So for me, it doesn't really matter whether it's Haikyuu or Kuroko or not Haikyuu or not Kuroko. There are so many other strong athletes and teams in the same universes that these anime are in. I mean, think about what Haikyuu has done. I mean, they've probably been the best anime to follow this formula. But we're going to see just the freshman year for a lot of these players, and we're not going to even see their upperclassmen years. We're not going to see any sort of higher level play other than high school. And you can't tell me there's not professional volleyball players in this universe. There has to be more challenges and a very high level of play that is so easy to get to. So many other shonen have an issue with a power ceiling and scaling until they're fighting aliens or something ridiculous. Sports anime has the easy, most obvious scaling there is, and they all seem to stop in high school. The most famous high school athlete in America, at least, maybe the world, is LeBron James's son, Bronny James. During Bronny James's first year of high school, Zaire Wade, who was Dwayne Wade's son, who was a senior at the time, transferred to the same high school as Bronny James so they could be teammates. Now, first of all, if that doesn't sound like a dope anime plot, I don't know what does. But even in this real life situation, where two high school teammates, a freshman and a senior, who are both sons of former NBA championship winning teammates and two future Hall of Famers, wasn't really a big enough deal to convince people to go watch high school basketball. And that's just because there's so many better athletes at the pro level. I would much rather watch two pro teams that are considered mediocre than watch two high school teams regardless of how good they're supposed to be. Because I don't care if it's Bronny James and Zaire Wade. They're losing to the worst team in the NBA, and it's not even going to be close. Yet there's still no anime about the pro level of sports. I mean, even this very real story between Bronny and Zaire would be super unique in the world of anime. You don't see massive name seniors with this kind of pedigree transfer schools to go play with another massive name freshman. Even that would break out of this mold that sports anime have confined themselves to. That would be a unique, really interesting story. In anime, this would just be two freshmen who go there at the same time, and they're gonna be competing that way. Like, there's no variance, it seems. I'm not asking for every sports anime to be this 20 plus year adventure through an athlete's life. But at least give me a main character that isn't a first year high school student. Give me an MC who is that senpai, that third year about to graduate high school student. The student who hasn't been able to win in his first 2 years. And now it's his last chance, and he's trying to win the championship, but he's also maybe trying to get an offer to play at a higher level, trying to get college offers and things like that. Give me a story about a college student who's faced with the issues of things like professional scouts attending his games, or the professional draft is looming and he doesn't know where he's going to get drafted, if he's going to get drafted at all, if he needs to just start looking for a real job. Give me a story where our main character finally achieves their dream of going pro, but their most hated rival from college or high school is now their teammate. Or maybe their best friend from college or high school is on a bitter rival and they have to compete against each other head to head over and over again. This rivalry and this constant competition. Give me a story where if you or one of your teammates mess up, you get released from your contract. You get traded. You're gone. You're off the team. You've lost your job. And there's just so much more at stake than just a high school tournament to make your senpai proud, and worst case scenario is you disappointed them. Give me something where there's a little bit more on the line. That's all I'm asking for. Now, I'm not sure if everyone here is a football fan or even a sports fan, but tonight we're going to get to see Patrick Mahomes, a 25-year-old prodigy, picked in the first round, 10th overall in the 2017 draft. In his first 3 years as a pro, he has already won a league MVP and a Super Bowl. He's looking for his second consecutive Super Bowl. And standing in his way is 43-year-old Tom Brady in his 22nd season as a pro. Once selected in the 6th round, 199th overall in the 2000 NFL Draft. He now stands as the greatest of all time, after 3 league MVP awards and 6 Super Bowl titles. And that reality is far more exciting and captivating than any high school tournament will ever be.